My brother wants to know about the time that Vulkan escaped from Conrad Curze. TJ, thank you for the request. Everything that I'm about to say takes place in Vulkan Lives, so fair warning, spoilers ahead, this is your only warning. I'm going to skip over most of the book and just fast forward to the part where Vulkan was captured. After the events of the Dropsite Massacre, where Vulkan was literally nuked, he would end up being captured by Conrad Curze, the Primarch of the Night Lords. Many individuals of the Imperium simply believed that Vulkan had perished at the Dropsite Massacre, and considering the circumstances of what occurred, it's very probable and believable. But in reality, the Night Lord kept Vulkan prisoner. And in typical Night Lord fashion, or more specifically, the Night Haunter's fashion, Vulkan would experience torture like no other. He would go through multiple trials and tribulations, with each torturous challenge getting worse and worse, also leading to Vulkan's inevitable end. Time and time again, Vulkan's mind would simply begin to slowly shatter and break, even for a Primarch and a Perpetual at that. Everything was just so severe for him to bear. So much so that he even dreamed of his recently slain brother Ferrus Manus. Despite Night Haunter knowing that Vulkan was a Perpetual and can no longer be slain, he still made multiple attempts. He would make Vulkan bear witness as multiple humans were crushed to smithereens, and Vulkan could do nothing to help them. In another situation, Vulkan was tied down to what would appear to be a dinner table, surrounded by other humans whose limbs were cut off and they were replaced with utensils just at the nubs. This scene was described to be one of the most horrific scenarios that Vulkan was put in. We know Vulkan has a kind and caring heart, but these humans couldn't be able to feed themselves with the length of their arms. Conrad Curze had replaced their arms just with utensils long enough to be able to feed each other side by side. And as horrific as that may be, at the dinner table, these malnourished individuals should have been able to feed each other. But the caveat being that the Night Haunter had also ended up removing their eyes and their ability to hear. So once again, Vulkan had to bear witness as these individuals slowly withered away, all until the Night Haunter stepped in and once again unalived Vulkan. The final trap that Vulkan was placed into was known as the Labyrinth, which was built by Perturabo, the Primarch of the Iron Hands, and this, simply put, was a labyrinth that Vulkan had to maneuver through, and at the center was his quote-unquote escape route. At this point, Vulkan's sanity is on the brink of shattering, and while he maneuvers this incredibly dangerous labyrinth, the Night Haunter is hunting him all the while. Eventually, Vulkan does reach the center of the maze, where his hammer Dawnbringer, equipped with a teleporter beacon, was located. But within the story, Curze does reveal that he knew all along about the teleporter that was within the hammer. He wanted to give Vulkan a false sense of hope. Despite Vulkan reclaiming his hammer, he couldn't teleport out as Curze took extra preventative measures. Curze laughing all the while, Vulkan ends up dropping, in my opinion, one of the best lines in all of the novels. "But brother, you forget, it is also a hammer," and proceeds to beat the brakes off of Conrad Curze. After breaking the body of the Night Haunter into submission, Vulkan ends up using the teleporter beacon to escape. Despite Curze's best efforts, it still operated just fine. Sort of, as he would then be teleported out of the ship and into the atmosphere above Macragge. And that would mark the end of Vulkan's escape from the terror that would be known as the Night Haunter. His story would pick up later on, but that can be a topic for another day. Throughout this novel, other events also happen, but because of the topic of the video, I really wanted to highlight this and just talk about how tragic it was, everything that Vulkan went through. Nonetheless, thanks again TJ for the request, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you guys want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.